So a lot of locals on hand and folks from all over to see this NASCAR All-Star Night.
Well, I'm excited, Mike, because I have not been over here on this side of the fence. And when you look down from this booth into this racetrack, Clint, you said it yesterday, everything down there looks new, looks perfect, but they've got that, it's got that nostalgia and everything to go with what North Wilkesboro is. So I'm excited. This is going to be totally different than what we saw last year.
All right, we look up toward turn 3 and 4 and down at turns 1 and 2. Here they come down the hill to begin the All-Star Open.
A lot of slip and sliding already. This is the grooves that we were talking about. Saw it today in the truck race. Man, they were all, oh, Nemechek way up, slid up, I think that was Priest he got into. Still into people. Ping pong right now.
Yeah, I think every corner of that 42 is knocked off already.
3 wide, turn 2.
Well, you see right off the bat, this is a very different line than what they had last year. You're going to run right on the bottom in 3 and 4 for a little bit. You're going to almost, it gets really flat on the entry down into turn 1 where these guys are headed right now. Ty Gibbs in the middle up the racetrack, kind of diamond that corner back down the racetrack and shoot off into turn 3 back up the hill.
Now the track got scrubbed really clean of rubber in yesterday and last night's rain, but the last half of the truck race was run here earlier today, so it's not a green racetrack.
You're going to see these guys laying the bumper to each other, and you're already seeing a lot of aggression out of these cars. Not much time. 100 laps, you got to go.
Well, when you line the field up like they did with points right there, you get some of the speed mixed up in the middle of the pack, at the front of the pack, back of the pack. So you're going to see some cars that are moving forward and back as they go through the beginning part of this race.
And Nemechek is not done yet. Him and LaJoy have been bouncing off of one another for about a lap back there.
That was after he moved Josh Berry.
That's a sense of urgency with this race. These guys do not want to be watching this all-star race, watching their teammates with some of them. Don't be that lone guy out of your camp.
3rd place.
Well, I think what you want right here, and this might be what we see with Alex Bowman, I think you're going to want your car to be as loose as you can possibly drive it, because the tendency is going to be for the car to start getting tight from the center to the exit of the corner as you go through this run. So, you know, you want it as free as possible to start the run in order to keep that car as balanced as possible, as long as possible in the run.
Roll in the middle of the racetrack. That's what you hear all these drivers talk about. Kevin, I heard you tell me from practice, the middle of the racetrack, keeping that momentum, letting that car roll is very hard. Free that thing up as much as possible until it's too loose in. Larry?
Yeah, one thing I'm seeing here is exactly what a lot of crew chiefs anticipated. Kevin, you talked about it. The car getting looser, getting in on these yellow primary tires. This track is nothing like what it was on Friday during that practice. It was overcast and cloudy. Now the entire racetrack is under sunlight.
Yeah, and really the tricky part is right here into turn 1. It's downhill. You really can't see it on TV, but when you're here, it's very much downhill, gets very flat, and then it ramps back up. The banking does in the middle of the corner. So I think this racetrack is going to change, and it's when they put those softer tires on, if they do at the halfway mark here, that's when the racetrack got really, really fast. So these tires will continue to get faster as you run. How many laps have we run?
Exactly what you see. Exactly what you just said, Kevin. We're talking 9 laps, and some of them too. Cindric, Bowman, all those guys, that was their fastest lap last time by.
So that's what's going to be the interesting part as we run. When we put those soft tires on, where do these primary tires and those soft tires cross? But these cars are going to continue to get better and better. But that's why you want to run it free, because as those tires get more grip and you can rip the center of the corner and release that brake, you're gonna make that speed.
There will be a caution at or around lap 50. They call it an all-star caution. And Timmy Hill on pit road. Tough break for the one non-charter car in this race. The Port Tobacco, Maryland driver had run at the back of the field, and now they're going to lift the hood up. Looks like his day is done. Todd Gilliland outside Nemechek. Now Nemechek got bounced around on the first couple of laps, fell back to about 15th. He has now worked his way up to 8th place.
One difficult part about what we did on Friday during practice is going to be what's happening right now. You see some of these cars are a little bit of a handful, probably not balanced like they were, because when we ended practice, most of the field, the whole field was out there together, running a lot of laps on those soft tires, and you had this really grippy sensation while if you went back on your primary tires while those guys were out there running around on these soft tires. So definitely going to be some balance issues probably to start this race, as you see
this car
Austin
right
Cindric
here.
in the wall.
He's one of the cars that's surprising me right now. Running up front, we expected Ty Gibbs. Kevin, you talked about it at the first of the show. Talked about him being fast. We kind of looked and saw that speed out of him in practice. Bubba Wallace the same way. Austin Cindric, this is a surprise for me. Holding steady here. We get a caution, another adjustment on this car. Maybe he can knock one of those guys out. All right, so these lap times are still getting faster, Larry. I see a lot of these left rears and stuff way down on air. You see them squatting right there in your shot. Just, is that air pressure or the rubber getting put down?
Yeah, I would say it's the rubber getting put down, but when they put those reds on there, those soft, they're running the 18, mid 18s right now. It'll probably go down to the 18.0s, 18 teens.
Wow. Jamie?
Well, you guys are talking about Austin Cindric. He's up 3 positions already. Hard to believe, but this is the first time he's ever had to race in the open. Because he won the Daytona 500 in his rookie year in 22, he was in the All-Star race automatically the last 2 seasons. Now, they're really happy with the race car. Started off strong on about lap 15. Said he's starting to get a little bit tight, but not too bad.
Battle here for 12th place, Austin Dillon. Coming up from 15th on the grid after having the fastest qualifying time in that abbreviated session.
Yeah, that was a bummer for him. Those guys were going to be on the pole of this and didn't get to, what was it, 2 more cars to go. We didn't quite get them done before the rain hit, knocked him back, and when it reverted to points.
So that moves LaJoie back to 13th. "19 laps complete in the open. Caution at lap 50.
Sounds like our boy's going to start 5th at the Indianapolis 500. Pretty cool.
Made the top 12, made the top 6, and ends up 5th.
That's amazing.
I'll keep you in suspense as to who won the pole, because I know some of you record it and watch it later. But it's important to this race because now Kyle Larson is done at Indianapolis. He will make his way to the airport there, fly to the North Wilkesboro airport, and helicopter to the racetrack, and should be here in time to climb into the number 5 for the All-Star race tonight.
That's not going to be good for these boys. Handful of confidence, smile on his face, rolling in here. Kevin Harvick's, well, I mean, hold on a minute.
Hopefully we don't have his car all screwed up.
He'll be just fine.
Yeah, the one thing I'm watching as I watch Ty Gibbs just continue to make fast lap after fast lap is he just comes off the corner a little bit lower, as we see Josh Berry and John Hunter Nemechek battling right here for 8th and 9th.
Berry caught him pretty easily, but
oh, that's that bump off of 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you see the back of that bump is at the lower you get, the harder that bump rocks the car around.
Catching him is one thing.
Passing him is another. It should be easier today. You don't have any time. No room for apologies.
The back of that 4 car is bouncing around. I did not experience a bounce like that yesterday. My car went, or Kyle Larson's car went through that bump pretty well, but that car is bouncing, looks like it's bouncing off the limiter. Watch this left rear as he comes up off the corner right here.
He moved up that time on purpose to try to go around it.
Ooh, man, that right rear bounce is hard.
Remember last year, Ty Gibbs led 53 laps of this race.
Leaning on him.
And transferred by finishing 2nd to the driver who's now in the number 4, Josh Berry.
That's going to be a textbook move for tonight, right, Kevin? No time. You gotta go.
Well, especially in these cars, there's really no penalty, right? The right sides are pretty tough. You're able to be pretty aggressive. Watch this. See that left front right there. Oh, my goodness.
As soon as that left rear hit it, I'd call that the hospital hop.
Whew. Well, Marcus Smith, who owns the racetrack, and Steve Swift, who has helped build and prepare it, told me yesterday that they used a proprietary paving technology so that the new pavement at Wilkesboro would retain all of the characteristics of the racetrack before the repave.
And the other thing that I liked that they did was didn't take character out of it like that. Like that bump, there's a bump getting into 3 as well. They left those in there purposely to keep the character in this racetrack.
And the other thing that they did, to add another layer to that, the aggregate that they used is much bigger. It had the pores are much more open, so they're hoping for tire wear, and as this track ages. So I love the way that the racetrack already races, and as we run further into the night tonight, these cars will be further and further up the racetrack.
So, Larry, we are 30 laps into this 100-lapper on the prime tire. What are we seeing for fall off?
Just not seeing much at all, Mike. I'm going to say less than 0.3 of a second, and
wow.
We've been 30 laps into it. And to Clint and Kevin's point, a lot of the fast laps was cut around lap 13 or 14. So there's a lot of decisions to be made when that caution comes out here in about 20 laps.
What are you thinking right now, Larry? Primes or softs?
I still want to go with those softs. I want those 3 to 4 tenths a lap, because the thing about it, yeah, they're gonna give up, but you should have such an advantage if other people go with the primaries on the restart.
Well, the other thing is you're going to have some laps wasted with everything that's going on, and these tires definitely take some time to get up to speed. Regan?
Well, Kevin, to the point of your conversation, speaking to crew chief Booty Barker on Bubba Wallace's car earlier today, he had set his car up with the plan of putting those red soft tires on later on this afternoon. And right now he thought that Bubba would have to hang on just a little bit. Well, Bubba's doing a great job up from 4th place to 2nd place. He's doing an excellent job hanging on because he's in position now to make things good on steam here at the pit stop.
Well, you want it loose, Regan. I mean, you want that car to be as loose as you can stand it on these tires, and then it probably needs to be a little bit looser yet. When you put those red tires on, as you go, you can run so much harder because the car has so much more grip getting in the corner, has a lot of grip really all the way through the corner. So you wind up with a tighter condition and more wheel in the car. So you want that car to be as free as possible when you put those softer tires on.
And remember, only the first 2 positions matter. Only 2 drivers will transfer to tonight's All-Star race from this 100-lapper. Ty Gibbs out in front by nearly 2 seconds now.
Well, and this car just did so much good yesterday. He and Denny Hamlin, but Ty Gibbs, I mean, those cars, it looked like the air was low in the tires. They could drive hard aggressively in the corner. It would ride over that bump well and do all those things good and still rotate in the middle of the corner, which is what I believe you want. You got to have a stable car in the entry and exit, but it's got to have that rotation in the middle of the corner.
That car's definitely has what you're talking about. Rotation, forward drive.
Josh Berry has caught Noah Gragson. Now Timmy Hill, the 66, is a lapped car, but the further you go, the passes get less easy and more difficult here.
Ooh, hold on to it.
I think
Ran it up the track there. That might have been on purpose,
Yeah,
a little bit of a diamond. But Kevin, you and I were talking about it prior to this race starting. Josh Berry was sporty yesterday in practice with the 4 car.
He was, and they were obviously pretty happy with their car, and they're pretty aggressive with the back of that car, and it seems to be getting better and better as they run, as the tire pressure builds up.
I think these guys are just falling off. I'm not quite sure if that's the best way to run, but just keep doing what you're doing, obviously.
From the NASCAR Day Give-a-thon cam on Carson Hocevar, currently 6th.
Well, the interesting part right now we're getting into that lap time where it might be, they might start experimenting with the downshifting, Clint. So, that 1880, 1890, you might be able to make your car do something different with a downshift here and there on either end.
Austin Dillon has caught Nemechek. Dillon started 15th. Has a much better car than that, as we noted from qualifying. Still got a ways to go to get to the front.
Not a lot of time.
Nope. Roughly 8 laps to the All-Star caution.
Yep. That car's rotating well. You can see how free it is rolling in the middle of the corner.
Yeah, and that's the part that you were talking about earlier. Like, if you're going to make those passes, you're going to have to be leaning on that door to in order to finish them, because you just have a tough time being able to get off the corner and finish those passes. So gonna have to be aggressive.
You see that groove that we were talking about just keeps widening out more and more and more.
Another
little bump off of 4 is pretty aggressive.
And remember, that upper groove is banked more than the low groove. So short way around is not always the fast way around.
Watch his steering, and you'll probably see it right in the center of the corner. Well, this car is pretty neutral. You can tell by the way he's driving. But when we watched Hocevar, obviously Gibbs with a Monster Energy in car here. But watch his hands as he goes in here. Kevin, you were sawing on the wheel a lot. I've seen that out of you for 20 years. And he gets in the corner. You can see that it rolls pretty well. But that wheel lock in the middle, saw it with Hocevar in his in car. When that thing goes wheel lock, it tells you it's tight. The tires are no longer reacting to the turn, the input he's putting in.
Yeah, and you can see right here, you know, this is the way that you drive this next gen car. So you turn it in a corner, turn it in a corner, and then he'll unwind it real quick to load the right rear tire and go to the throttle at the same time to try to get as much drive up off the corner. But you want to be able to turn the wheel on entry, turn it to the center of the corner, and then unwind it at the same time you put the throttle down to load that rear up.
That car is reacting to his input well, hence him being way up front.
Now, I know after practicing the 5, you watched your onboard and other onboards, and you had pretty happy hands.
Choppy, I call those choppy hands.
Okay.
Those are 7-8 month out of sync hands. That's what those are. Like Clint said, though, my hands are pretty choppy. I'm a constant chaser of the car.
But you always have been that way. I mean, everybody drives differently. It's something that new when I watched your in-car immediately. It just took me right back to being your teammate and looking at your data. But this battle right here with Austin, it's been aggressive.
All right, we're coming up on halfway next time by. 50 laps and the caution waves. On the All-Star Open, Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Austin Cindric, Alex Bowman, Chase Briscoe, the top 5. We'll line them up and get ready for pit stops after a fun 50 laps. Open, and everybody is in for a mandatory change. Jamie.
Austin Cindric in the 2, as I reported, got a little bit tight to start this run. Feels better on those red softer tires, so that's what they put on. The 77, though, Carson Hocevar trying to race his way into his first All-Star race. They, too, put the softer tire on. It's a mixed bag here, Regan.
Well, Bubba Wallace in the 23, just a little bit too free on entry and exit. Right now, as that run went on, he liked that, though, for when they put the softer tires on in the 54 Ty Gibbs. Loose, late exit. There was room for that car that was really good to be even better yet.
Long stop for Harrison Burton. He finally rolls away. Also for Zane Smith. And Larry, what happened?
Well, I'm watching the 23 car right now. I was looking at the left side going down the back straightaway. I think they've got some tires mixed up. Now, they got the 2 reds, the softs on the right. I want to look at it again when they go down the back straightaway on the left side.
And the 77,
both reds on the right side,
may have the same issue.
Well, the top 4 cars all have reds on. Those are the soft.
Oh, yeah.
There it is.
Left front.
Left right.
Wait.
Get your Crayolas out, folks.
Do they offer a green one?
He'll be coming back to pit road because you had to change all 4, and it has to be the same all the way around.
And the speeding police have nabbed Corey LaJoy and John Hunter Nemechek, both too fast exiting.
And both of them put the yellow primaries on, the 7 and the 42. Now they're going to be at the back on a primary harder tire.
How does this happen? Okay. As Larry's pointed out, you must change all 4 tires must be the same color sidewalls. Either the primary tire in yellow or the optional soft tire in red. We'll sort this out in a minute.
See, that's what's screwing you up.
Saturday night, baseball night in America on Fox. Shohei Ohtani and Mookie Betts lead the Dodgers against rising superstar Ellie De La Cruz and the Reds. Or you'll see one of the greatest rivalries in baseball as the Cubs take on the Cards. 7 Eastern on Fox. Check for the game in your area. All right, we have come to the choose. And let's see if we are confused.
Oh, there it is. The tape's what's causing it.
Yellow tape on the red tire. Green tape on the red tire. On the left front.
It covered that when the car was rolling. It covered it and made it look as if it was almost yellow on the front. I think is what Larry saw.
Larry, that's not fair. It may be legal, but is that fair?
I think there's a method to Booty Barker's madness.
We'll get out the color wheel and we'll have a tutorial.
Regardless, all these cars at the front have these red tires on, the soft tires. First time we've seen it, folks, right here.
And we're back to green. Wow, 3 wide for 6th place.
Look at the run that Josh Berry had on the outside. Here he comes, guys. It's 4 cars fast. This car should take off better than they did on the yellows. Oh, Cindric is around.
And he had help. Yellow is out as Austin Cindric gets turned into the wall.
Oh, he's not happy either.
Nor should he be. Things got a little too close for comfort there.
Just
3 wide.
Yeah,
got squeezed.
Yeah, and it didn't look like he squeezed him all the way up, but it was. Yeah.
Lost 3 spots on pit roads. What happened? Put him back there.
We're under caution. We'll be back in the All-Star Open. Today's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, powering the race from the green flag to the checkers and every mile in between. Goodyear, more driven. Now, drivers with the red backgrounds are on the option tire, the soft tire. Those with the black backgrounds are on the prime or primary tire. We also had some wet weather tires floating away in 2 feet of water on pit road yesterday. Hopefully, thankfully, not needed today.
Well, obviously on the pylon, this is going to show, right? Those are the reds, these are the yellows, the primary tires. But man, I've got my eye glued on this race for third, race for second rather, with Bubba Wallace. Keep an eye on Noah Gragson. We know that those cars are part of that top 5 scenario of the fan vote. That's going to be so important. Bowman ahead of Bubba after this restart.
Well, you see Josh Berry give up a couple rows right there, give up a whole row to start up on the outside. He had so much success on that last restart.
All right, let's get some Carson hosts of our radio about what happened there.
Who's coming to pay you a visit? Simple. Yeah, I hit the bump. I was focused ahead. Just missed your top of 3 call. Too late.
So didn't realize they were 3 wide at the time. A lot of repair to the right front of Austin Cindric's car. As we get ready to restart with 36 laps to go. Minus the number 2. Here we go.
Bowman to the inside, door to door for the lead.
See all these cars bouncing around really bad on low air right there. We saw it with Josh Berry earlier, and now we see these cars 3 wide.
3 wide, 2 rows deep.
Bowman pushed Bubba up the racetrack quite a bit. Will he do it again? Bowman looks loose on the bottom, especially with the help of the 14 on the bumper.
That 14 is not helping him with this loose condition, that's for sure.
And Josh Berry coming way up in the high groove.
That battle for second, so important. Only 2 cars make this. He's not going to give that spot up easy.
Well, I think as this goes, that top lane is probably going to prevail.
Have to lean on him, get aggressive.
Yes.
What you told me last week, get dirty.
You're going to have to get aggressive to finish the pass. See, Josh Berry, he just keeps going where they're not. He just keeps going up the racetrack, making a bigger diamond. Pays off for him down the straightaway.
He needs to close on Wallace so Bowman can't come up into that top groove. He's there. And Berry slips back again.
That's a good battle. That's a good snapshot of the multi-groove racing we have at this racetrack.
7 cars fighting for the transfer spot. Second place.
Well, I'm really intrigued by this run. Where do these tires start to fall off? They're way faster to get going, but we didn't really get an opportunity in practice yesterday for these guys to have to run nose to tail like they are right now to see what that does to the speed and the handling of the cars when they're in these race conditions.
I love that battle for second. He's trying to push Bubba up the racetrack to stay out of that hole, and Bubba's trying to hold him down into it, hit that bump, get him upset and get to position. Here he goes, clear maybe.
And look at Berry. Berry had the best drive off turn number 2, diamonding the racetrack at the low end of the speedway, and he's right back in it again.
I like this outside line. He's got Bubba looking in his mirror, both inside and outside. Spotter busy in that 23 car.
Little bump.
You see down there where Alex Bowman is, that white line right next to that concrete. Yesterday, Friday, you were able to really hook that left front right on there and it drag you around the corner, and you could partial throttle the car through that area of the corner. And a little bit different than 1 and 2.
Comes
As you
a
see
crossover.
contact.
Berry to the bottom. Makes his own way. Makes a hole, fills it, and now sets after Bubba Wallace.
Oh, boy, that was so close, Kevin.
Yeah, well, it's just like we talked. You have to if you're in position to make the pass, you're going to have to use the right side of that car, and Josh Berry definitely used the right side of his car to finish that pass on Alex Bowman.
Bowman's in trouble. He better repay the favor, and he better do it quick. Running out of time.
Going to have to get there first. Berry keeps running that line and getting that good launch off turn 2. About another 3 laps, maybe less. He'll be right on Wallace's bumper.
This is fantastic racing. Hard to believe this track was just repaved. It's not racing. This is just, this doesn't scream a repave.
Look at that 51 right there. Justin Haley. He is underneath Alex Bowman going for from 5th to 4th.
Hell yes.
Great Mike Arning campaign to try to get Haley voted in to the All-Star race.
We saw Justin have a great run last week at Darlington, and he's continuing that theme today.
Car's flying.
Great kid. Justin Haley, we talk about him a lot. Flies under the radar, always makes something out of the day.
Does a good job behind the wheel of a race car.
And he's making that lower line work really well through the middle of 1 and 2 right there.
Well, he's more than got Josh Berry's attention.
That car is plenty loose too, just like you told us. Need this thing free in the middle of the corner.
Haley edges ahead for 3rd, and here comes Berry right back after him.
Can Haley catch this Bubba Wallace and race his way into the All-Star race tonight? He's coming, folks. Justin Haley.
Well, he's going to have to finish this pass pretty quick. Didn't make that happen.
20 to go. Ty Gibbs commanding lead.
Well, we knew that the Gibbs cars we knew the 54 and the 11 were really good cars, and Ty Gibbs has proven that as he's run on the primary tires and the soft tires really fast again today.
Can this practice in this open be, can it help you in the All-Star race? Talking about this 54, he is lights out fast. Maybe he can make some hay tonight in the All-Stars.
Well, it's going to take a car being substantially better to really make it happen quick, and I think that you've definitely got some options with the way that this groove has moved up the racetrack from 3rd lane down to the bottom lane. You've got some options to be able to make some passes.
Bubba Wallace has moved up the racetrack down in turns 1 and 2.
Well, you're starting to see some of these cars fall off, Mike, and Bubba Wallace's car, let's see, he ran 1877, Josh Berry ran 1878. So, there's a good possibility that the lap times could really start to fall off as you get closer and closer to the end of this run.
Larry, what kind of fall off are we seeing with the soft tire?
Right now, they've run almost 30 laps since they made that pit stop, and I'm only seeing, Mike, maybe 3.5 tenths of fall off. And pretty much everybody at the front is on the red letter soft tire.
Here, downshift right there, Carson Hocevar.
Hocevar battling Ryan Preece for 8th. First 18 on the lead lap with 13 to go. Kevin, one thing I believe we heard from practice was that with the soft tire, if you didn't run them hard the whole run and you backed off and let them cool a bit, they would come back.
I never really tried to employ that strategy.
Okay.
I just wanted to just run it as far as we could run it. We ran over 50 laps with our tires, and the fall off was, I think it fell off to like 1910. Denny Hamlin was probably the best. He fell off to high 1890s, which is, they aren't there yet, and so it was it's just a different a different feel in the car. The car definitely had more grip as you went on these red soft tires. Larry?
We've been talking about this downshifting. We've been monitoring the top 10, and right now the only two that's shifting is the 14 car, Chase Briscoe, that's 7th. Hocevar in the 77 that's back there in 9th. They're going between 3rd and 4th gear.
10 to go. And Ty Gibbs apparently has quite a date with history. He finished 2nd at Darlington, NASCAR's oldest track, last week. And here he is leading the All-Star Open at a historic Wilkesboro.
In the last 5 laps, I've been keeping an eye on that 4 car pretty closely. He was catching Bubba Wallace for 2nd and then started to fade here in the last 2 laps. Felt clear back. Bubba is running a 1890 to his, well, hey, back in the game, 1893. A little bit better than him that lap. He's not over yet. He's moving around the racetrack a lot, Kevin. Was running really high in 1 and 2. Now he's back down to the bottom in 3 and 4.
Well, this is, in practice, this is really when we saw the racetrack open up, was when you were able to run these softer tires. It really lays a lot of rubber down.
Oh, Bowman in the wall between 1 and 2. Very slow off turn 2, but now Alex Bowman back up to speed.
Yeah, I think these guys are just looking for anywhere that they can find speed. We saw Alex Bowman way up the racetrack right there, just probably jump that cushion. It kind of flattens out as you get way up next to the wall, that last 2 or 3 feet.
So Barry and Haley have got to go. Their only chance to make it into the All-Star race is to race their way in, while Bubba Wallace, Noah Gragson, and Alex Bowman are in the top 5 for the fan vote. And behind them, Chase Briscoe. Ryan Preece has worked his way up to 8th. And on the standard or primary tire, Austin Dillon is 9th.
Starting to see a lot of these cars starting to fall off into the 19-second bracket now.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great point, Kevin. And that's what you want out of these softer tires. You want them things to fire off and be, you know, in my opinion, at least a half a second faster, what they're going to need to be over the primary tire to make a difference, a substantial enough difference to make some passes, but it needs to fall off too to be, you know, create that environment, the cars falling back and moving forward.
So 2 to go. Bubba Wallace on the bubble has the final spot. Josh Berry, his only chance to make the All-Star race is to catch and pass Wallace in these final 2 laps.
Yeah, and he has given it everything he has. Josh Berry there in 3rd. He's all the way up against the rubber in that top groove, trying to find something to make some time.
Final lap. Ty Gibbs headed for the checkers. The race is for 2nd.
Dominant fashion, dominant performance by Ty Gibbs. Might be able to make some noise tonight in this All-Star race.
Ty Gibbs leads every lap and wins the Open. Bubba Wallace, by 3 car lengths, holds off Josh Berry to transfer into tonight's All-Star event. Ty Gibbs races his way in for the 2nd straight year.
Well, guys, look at this. Got some news for you. All-Star fan vote winner, Noah Gragson. How about you, Noah? It's Boyer and the boys up in the booth. You got us?
Yeah, Tim Boyer got you guys.
Well, buddy, got some good news for you. You got a hell of a fan base.
Hell yeah, I appreciate all the fans. You guys are badass. We didn't quite have what it took there in that race, but you fans pulled through. Your support means everything. Packed out house here at North Wilkesboro. Really fun racetrack. Really enjoying it. Appreciate all the fans. Appreciate this track. We're going to go have some fun.
Well, tell me about it, buddy. Tell me about the racetrack. What do you think about the repave, the job they did there, the grip level on this racetrack? What did you learn there that you can apply to this All-Star race?
Yeah, I definitely think there's balance differences between the hard tires, the soft tires. The soft tires are super fun. Seemed like there's some comers and goers. Guys kind of faded off. Some guys got better. A lot of passing out there. This is a wide racetrack with these soft tires. It really allowed us to move the groove up. You saw guys up against the outside wall in turn 1, all the way to the bottom. Guys shifting. Some guys running 4th gear only. It's one heck of a racetrack. this repave is really fun, and thanks to Goodyear as well and NASCAR for the opportunity to put different sets of tires on and move around. It's been great so far, and we're going to go try and race for $1 million. Appreciate all the fans.
All right, buddy. Congratulations, and enjoy your night. Good luck.
Sir, thank you.
Well, Bubba Wallace and Ty Gibbs share a laugh. They are going to race in the All-Star race tonight. Stuart Haas had all 4 of their cars in the Open, and they finished 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 8th, with Gregson advancing on the fan boat. Regan?
Well, Mike, it's all smiles down here for Ty Gibbs. Ty, a year ago you transferred through by finishing 2nd in the All-Star Open. This year you'll win it, and it was won in dominant fashion. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, we were pretty good. I feel like we were pretty solid, so it's good to make it, and good to see Bubba make it too. So hopefully we can go in and win it. I think Waltrip did it once, so it'd be cool to go win $1 million, go buy some sprint cars or something.
You had plenty of laps out there on both types of tires, both the option tire and the primary tire. Did you learn what you need to learn to maybe take it to him? You finished 9th last year, get 8 more spots better this year?
Yeah, I think we're solid enough and good enough to go do that. So I feel like we learned a lot with what we're going to do. So thank you to Monster Energy, Mitch Covington, everybody at Interstate Batteries Norm. So I got some good friends here, and let's go win this thing.
All right, Ty Gibbs will race in the All-Star race in a little bit. Jamie?
And Bubba Wallace does the same. He finishes 2nd here. That means he'll be racing in the All-Star race. So much time and effort, Bubba, goes into making the All-Star race. What's it like knowing you're not guaranteed and you had to race hard there to make it?
Yeah, well, when we seen the rules change, Jamie, it was like, hey, playoff guys usually made it. So it just made us work extra hard. So appreciate everybody on this all-true Toyota Camry, everybody back at Airspeed. You know, you have to earn every ride of this, all right? So I can't say we deserve to. I guess we deserve to be an all-star, but we got to go fight for it every once in a while. But we're just lacking a little bit. Definitely different feel than what we had in practice. So got a little bit of time to make minimal changes to make it better. But all in all, we're in the show. Appreciate the 48 and the 4 running clean there. You know, that was fun. That was short track stuff right there. So we were able to squeeze away there and hang on to 2nd. But that's the most stressful spot to be in, you know? You never want to look up in the mirror. And you know how good Josh is on short track. So it's like, hey, I kind of did some short track stuff too. So I think I got a little bit figured out. But we were able to hang on and have a good day so far.
All right, so that was like a 100-lap practice for you. Now you get to take all that knowledge into the All-Star race. So what'd you learn, and what did you tell your teammate Tyler Reddick when he just came up?
Yeah, the balance migration was different. It caught both me and him when I told him by surprise. So we need to have a quick debrief with the team, see if we can get the right rear underneath us a little bit more. But nonetheless, I thought the tires, I don't know how the back of the pack looked, like different from our spot, but I know I was fighting it. So hope there was some passing, and hopefully there's a good show for tonight. But we got to make some changes if we want to win $1 million.
All right, last year you finished 2nd. Get one spot better tonight?
We came from the back last year, so let's do it again.
There you go. Got to put on a show. That's Bubba Wallace. Mike.
Well, 4 times, there's Booty Barker, his crew chief. 4 times a driver has won the All-Star race after transferring out of the Open. So Ty Gibbs, Bubba Wallace, Noah Gregson. Move on.
I love the fact that Ty Gibbs' car is that good and starting in the back of the pack, and you got Denny Hamlin kind of in the middle of the pack. So it's going to be interesting as we start the All-Star race tonight.
We'll be back as we get ready for NASCAR's All-Star Night in North Wilkesboro.